Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Steins. In the last episode, Rintaro Okabe made the ultimate decision and the ultimate sacrifice, choosing to erase the moments of his time with Kurisumakase in order to save the life of Mayuri Shina. He has erased the first email that was intercepted by SERN, the very first email that inadvertently started this entire series of events. But that email has now been erased, and with it, the events of the Alpha Worldline, as Rintaro is now back on the Beta Worldline. However, before he could finally close the chapter on his life so far indefinitely, something rather unexpected happened. He got a contact from none other than Suzuha of this worldline, not the other worldline, because the Suzuha from the Alpha worldline went back to 1975 and then passed away in the year 2000. So what awaits us here in the Beta worldline? The worldline that we fought so hard to return to, since this is indeed the worldline that we originally came from. Who knows? But just for a moment, before we go meet Suzuha on the roof of the radio building, a minor bit of radio talk. Yeah, the last few episodes of Let's Play Steins, including this one, I had to basically re-record for reasons that I will explain in the next episode, but to avoid causing a minor temporal paradox of sorts, allow me to clarify. I tried to record these videos using post-commentary, using Wondershare Filmora, and unfortunately I suffered huge technical problems in the process. Thus I was ultimately forced to go back and get to this point all over again, because I didn't have a temporal save stashed away just in case. I believe at the beginning of the next episode I go on about how I'm back to this format that I'm currently doing now, which is the live commentary instead of the post-commentary. I don't do post-commentary often, and I try to avoid it whenever I can. I know some Let's Players are especially skilled at doing post-commentary style Let's Plays. I'm not one of them. So, clarification over. I think we're keeping Suzuha waiting, so let's go meet her Beta Worldline counterpart. When I get there, I find it cordoned off. The roof was off limits to begin with, but now it's also part of a crime scene, as if I needed another reminder of the murder that took place here 3 weeks ago. The murder that led to the very first email, I might add. I duck under the yellow tape and open the door. The lock is still broken. Well, there's no surprise. I can hardly breathe after running up the stairs to get here. As I gasp for air, I look across the stark white concrete. And naturally, my eyes go straight to the satellite sitting smack dab in the middle of the roof. A satellite that was embedded in the 8th floor of the radio building on the Alpha Worldline. Unfortunately, I might have mentioned this up until now, but if I haven't, I'm about to. This isn't the first time we've seen this satellite. Though it's the first time that Mayuri and Daru have seen this satellite here in the Beta Worldline. No, it's not a Transformer, it's not an Autobot, and it's not a Decepticon. Sorry to disappoint you, Daru. Mayuri and Daru are just as surprised. What is that thing? You spent your entire time on the Alpha Worldline and maybe you're in shock, Rintaro. I mean, it looks like Suzuha's time machine. That's because it is Suzuha's time machine. The beta Suzuha's time machine, I might add. This very time machine, if memory serves, if my memory isn't failing me, appeared roughly a month ago. On the 28th of July. Shortly before Dr. Nakabachi's lecture was scheduled to begin. But there's something different about it. Indeed it is. Suzuha's looked old and beat up. This one looks brand new. Possibly due to the differences between the Alpha and Beta world lines, because in the Alpha world line, this time machine was re-engineered using SERN's technology, and was rather hastily put together. But since SERN no longer controls the space-time continuum here on the Beta world line, and their dystopian future is nothing but a memory, something else has happened to take its place. In terms of the development of the time machine, that is. It's not stuck in the wall either. And besides, this is the Beta world line, where CERN's dystopia never forms. Suzuha has no reason to travel to 2010, and yet, against all forms of rationality, she has arrived here. That satellite shouldn't be here. And yet, I feel like I've seen it before. Is it because we have, as I've just explained? Where? When did I? Hopefully you do remember, Rintaro, because you're going to need to. Of course, it was at Dr. Nakabachi's presentation. Right before the presentation started, something shook the building like an earthquake, and when I went to check the roof, the satellite was sitting there. Well, given the events of the Alpha World line, it's actually not entirely surprising that Rintaro forgot. After all, a lot has happened, even though technically on the Beta World line none of it happened. Though still confused, I approached the satellite. Just then, the hatch opens, and someone steps outside. And there she is, in the flesh.
Rintaro?
Suzuha!
Indeed, it really is her, the part-time warrior, not in this world line. John Titor, the time traveler from 2036, Daru's daughter, who will be born 7 years from now.
なんでだなんでお前がここにいる
I believe we're about to learn the answer to that question. I asked her the same question over the phone, but I can't help myself. I need answers. You and me both, Rintaro.
質問に答えて。君が岡部倫太郎？
Well, the one thing that he is no longer is Hououin Kyouma, if that's what you're asking, which I don't think you are, so... He is indeed Rintaro Okabe. The way she puts it makes it sound like she's never met me before. And now that we're talking face to face, I realize that there's something very different about her. For starters, what's with all the camo? And come to think of it, she's wearing her braids rather differently to her Alpha World line counterpart. It looks dirty and worn, like she's been fighting in it for a while. But CERN's dystopia was supposed to have never happened. She's even carrying a gun for some reason, and I'm pretty sure it's not a replica. So what has changed? What has the butterfly effect got in store for us in this world line? Is she really Suzuha Mane? She definitely looks like Suzuha Mane.
いや待てちょっと待て
This doesn't make sense. No, calm down. Figure this out, Okabe. You know that this is impossible. Well, I would actually beg to differ on that one. Suzuha can't be here, and yet, as I just said, she is. She leapt to 1975 in her one-way time machine. She found the IBM 5100, made sure it would get to you, and then passed away in the year 2000. So where did this girl come from? Need I remind you, Rintaro, different world lines.
私は2036年から来たタイムトラベラー。オカリンおじさんに頼みがあるの。
Wait a minute. Uncle Ocarine? That would actually imply that you do know him. Uncle.
おじさんなの？
And you would have had to have been familiar with Rintaro Okabe to know the nickname Ocarine. We don't have time to humour Mayuri's question. Suzuha walks up to me and looks me in the eye. Her expression is grim. Quite a different manner of bearing from her Alpha Worldline counterpart. The next words out of her mouth are the last thing I expected to hear.
この世界線の未来では第三次世界大戦が起きちゃうんだ。
Okay, that's come as a bit of a shell shock of sorts. Let me just collect my thoughts here for a second. So you're telling me, after we inadvertently leapt to the Alpha World line and spent countless hours, minutes, seconds, and so on and so forth, trying to not only escape the Alpha World line, but to free it from CERN's dystopian future, we jump back to the Beta World line, where CERN no longer rules, and it's heading straight for World War III.
それを回避するために、私に協力して過去を変えて、お願い。
Getting rather deja vu flashbacks here. And something tells me that, my intuition is telling me that Worldline Convergence is having a laugh at Rintaro Okabe's expense. We've already gone through one such ordeal, and now we're going through another. Different circumstances, same spiel all over again. But also, World War III. Didn't our Worldline John Titor mention something along those lines, by the way?
なんだよそれ
Indeed. Of all the news that Rintaro Okabe could have heard, that one was the last one that he expected to hear, and ultimately the last news that he wanted to hear.
なんだよそれは
I think that's my line.
第三次世界大戦って大変だよ。
To call World War III bad is a grave understatement, Mayuri.
いやつうかさタイムトラベラーってマジ釣りじゃなくて
Unfortunately, Daru, she is not.
父さんは黙ってて。
父さん
We don't have time to go through this explanation again. We really
びっくり
don't.
した。謎の美少女にいきなり父さん呼ばわりされたでござる。どうせならお兄ちゃんと呼んでくれ。
Good luck with that.
待て待ってくれ。
I take a deep breath. Okay, let's figure this out. I turn to Suzuha.
そこにある人工衛星のようなものはタイムマシンか。
We already know that that is the case. Suzuha nods curtly. She hasn't smiled once. There's no hint of the cheerful Suzuha I remember from the Alpha Worldline. So what happened to her in the Beta Worldline, I wonder? Instead, I sense strength, conviction, and steel resolve.
お前の父親が作ったのか。
そうだよ。
So that hasn't changed. Daru still built the time machine. Suzuha glares at him.
お前は一体どこから来た。
2036年から
Again, concurrent with the Alpha World line.
1975年2000年を経由して。
Wait a minute. 1975 and 2000.
経由だって。
That doesn't make any sense. She's obviously not in her 40s. Which means...
あのタイムマシンは未来方向にも跳躍できると言いたいのか。
if she is to be believed, that would be the most logical outcome. And again, remember those two dates, 1975 and 2000. Again, those two can be attributed to our John Titor, as well as Suzuha Mane, who's going by that same pseudonym here in the Beta World line. I just suddenly remembered the myriad conversations that we had with the Alpha World line Suzuha about this on At Channel. But that's not really important right now.
そうじゃなきゃタイムマシンとは呼べないじゃん。
This isn't the Suzuha I know. But it is Suzuha Mane.
お前は違う未来から来た。
That's... yeah, that is pretty much the bad news.
違う未来。
And of course, Suzuha would have no idea about the Alpha World line counterpart.
2036年はどんな状況なんだ。セルンによるディストピアは。
セルンって何？ディストピア？
Suzuha frowns. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I said before that Worldline Convergence was having a laugh at our expense. So... I'm actually starting to have a little bit of doubt as to whether we can actually... well, we have changed the future somewhat, but we've only changed the circumstances of the future. We haven't changed the outcome. She doesn't know about CERN? That settles it. She's definitely not the Suzuha I knew.
さっき第三次世界大戦が起きると言ったよな。
That she did.
そう。その戦争で人類の総人口は10億人まで減ったの。
10億って今の総人口って 67億人ぐらいじゃなかったっけ？だとしたら57億人も死んだってこと？
So on the Beta Worldline, 5.7 billion people perish in the fires of World War III.
核兵器が使われてね。
That's definitely a far cry from CERN's dystopian rule.
かつての冷戦構造にそっくりだった。きっかけはタイムマシン。
And it seems that in the Beta Worldline, World War III was being fought over time machines.
EU とロシアによる開発競争が火種になって、それにアメリカまでが横槍を入れたから収拾がつかなくなった。
An times race, or rather, instead of a conventional arms race between Russia, America, and the European Union.
世界を滑る可能性を持つ夢の装置。それを手に入れることは、過去から未来までを全て手中に収めるっていうことになるわけだから。
And yet in the Alpha World line, CERN was the one that beat them all to the punch. But not here. And as a result, things have changed, but not for the better. Time travel again. It has the power to grant your dreams and at the same time destroy everything you love. I know that better than anyone, given how many times we've leapt through time, with the time leap machine and the D-mails.
2036年には戦争は終結してるけど、地球はボロボロ。もうさ、人がまともに住める世界じゃないんだ。
It's unbelievable. In the future of the Alpha World line, CERN used their time machine to fashion a dystopia where no one could oppose their rule. Suzuha had traveled to the past to change that. She showed me how to escape that convergence. And yet, from where we're standing, that hasn't amounted to a goddamn thing. Because at this very moment, an even worse tragedy seems to be on the horizon of the future. It's like the situation with Mayuri and Kurisu. As long as we were on the Alpha World line, Mayuri Shina would always die, thanks to Worldline convergence. And now something similar is happening here. The result is this, the Beta World line. Here, CERN fails to complete its time machine. But instead, 5.7 billion people die in the fires of nuclear warfare.
そんなのありかよ。
In other words, one step forward, and two steps back. My legs fall beneath me. I sink to my knees.
オカリン、大丈夫？
Mayuri kneels beside me and gently rubs my back. But I'm too stunned to respond to her kindness. I glare at Suzuha. Though I know it's absurd, part of me blames her.
なんでこんなことになってるんだ。お前が言ったんだぞ。ベータ世界線なら平和な未来が待っているって。
That was the Alpha World line, Suzuha, and she truly believed that the Beta World line was far better than the future that she came from. How was she supposed to know an even worse future awaited us on this world line? We saved Mayuri, we changed the future. And now, after everything we did, Suzuha appears before me once again to say that it wasn't enough.
今が未来への大きな分岐点で。
What more could Worldline convergence possibly demand of Rintaro Okabe?
そんなのは知ってる。
だったらわかるでしょ。このままじゃ57億人が死ぬんだよ。戦争が終わったって何も残ってない世界に私たち放り出されるんだよ。あんなひどい世界を変えるために私はここに来たの。そして過去を変えるためにはオカリンおじさんの協力が。
断る。
And the reason for that is because we've been through this entire song and dance before. I reject her plea outright. Suzuha looks hurt, betrayed, like an abandoned puppy. How dare she look at me that way? I borrow Mayuri's shoulder and struggle back to my feet.
俺はアルファ世界線からここに来た。俺の大事な女の子の命を犠牲にしてまでここにたどり着いたんだ。
I can't go back. Not to the worldline where Mayuri dies.
57億人が死のうと知ったことかよ。あいつのクリスの犠牲を無駄になんかさせないからな。
One person versus 5.7 billion. They can't be compared. Suzuha is staring at me in disbelief. Mayuri and Daru clearly don't know what to say. I haven't told them what happened, so they can't understand. At least, not yet anyway.
つまりおじさんは別のアトラクタフィールドにいたってこと？
That's entirely correct.
すごい。それが例のリーディングシュタイナーなんだね。
I think you're a little bit confused. Reading Steiner doesn't allow us to travel to other world lines per se. Reading Steiner allows us to retain memories of the world lines that we've traveled from.
なぜその名を。
父さんから聞いてる。それに私もオカリンおじさんとは会ったことがあるんだ。未来でね。
So, your questioning of him initially was just a ploy of sorts.
俺と。
そっか。そしてそっちのアトラクタフィールドでも私は同じように2010年に来たんだね。
Indeed, and there we went to avert yet another tragedy. And while the Alpha World line may or may not be free, this one certainly is not. A faint smile flickers across her face, then she looks at me with renewed intensity. It's also the first time that she's actually smiled.
オカリンおじさん、今おじさんは断るって言ったけど。
そうだ。クリスの死は無駄にしない。マユリを殺させはしない。
Well, that cat's out of the bag.
マヨシは死んじゃうの？
Indeed, on the Alpha World line, the very reason why we sacrificed the life of Kurusu Makase to prevent that from happening at all costs, to begin with.
さっきから言ってるそのクリスって牧瀬クリスのことだよね。
And it seems that Suzuha knows fully well who Kurusu Makase
聞い
is.
ておじさん。もしもだよ。この世界線の未来を変えるために必要なのが2010年7月28日に亡くなった牧瀬クリスを。
Back up a second. Are you honestly telling me that in order to prevent World War III, we have to go back to July 28th, 2010, and try and prevent Kurisu from dying? Well, on the one hand, it is a very tempting offer, but on the other side of the coin, we are already familiar with the cruelty of Worldline convergence. On the Alpha Worldline, Mayuri Shina continually dies. And we changed that by jumping back to this Worldline where Kurisu was murdered. And as we've not just with Mayuri, but with Moroka Kiryu as well, we've already proven that once Worldline convergence has essentially dictated one's own demise, that's it. There is nothing anyone can technically do to prevent it other than to go back in time. Or to jump to another Worldline, which is easier said than done, given what we've just been through. That's certainly a lot to deal with, and we've certainly been given quite the ordeal. But we're going to have to leave it for now, for the time being. So when we return, adventurers, we shall hear the rest of what Suzuha Mane has to say to Rintaro Okabe, and just what it is she's actually trying to accomplish here on the Beta Worldline. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.